All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Pain Point webinar series. My name is Jessie Devine, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager here at QuoteWerks, and our goal is to dive into common business challenges that companies face when creating quotes and proposals. Today's Pain Point topic is spending hours retyping vendor quote data into your proposals. I'm sure this is something that you guys have struggled with here and there. And we know your time is valuable, so these webinars are going to be fairly short and we'll keep them under 30 minutes. We want you to be able to apply these solutions right away, and we want these webinars to be as quick and efficient as your quoting process is or will be soon. So, with every webinar, we'll go over a quick agenda, what I'll be covering today, and show you how easily we can solve some of these pain points. We'll start with the pain point, go into the solution, and then I'll show you a live demo of how to implement these solutions. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A where you can ask questions, and I'll be sure to answer them. I do want to encourage you to ask questions during the webinar into the questions box. I will circle back to the questions at the end, and if for some reason I can't get to them, I will always follow up and make sure that I answer your question through phone call or email. Additionally, all of our webinars are recorded, and we'll send you a link of the webinar when we upload it to our YouTube page and our videos page on our website. If you haven't done so already, definitely recommend subscribing to our YouTube page and following us on our social media sites. We have a lot of great information we post regularly there. So let's get to the pain point, what you guys came for, right? So today's pain point webinar is spending hours retyping vendor quote data into your proposals. And the pain point, it really is just that. You're probably finding that you have vendors that send you special quotes or other data outside of QuoteWerks that you just can't have in QuoteWerks at all times. So you're having to retype vendor quote data or external information into your own quotes, a lot of redundant work there, and you're wanting to get rid of it. So what is the solution to this? So the first of a few solutions that we have is called the Paste Special Wizard. The Paste Special Wizard can actually copy data from outside of QuoteWerks and paste it right into QuoteWerks as line items into the quote. It can retrieve information from Excel quotes, from vendors into QuoteWerks. It can copy and paste that data directly into QuoteWerks. And the best part is that it's included with every edition of QuoteWerks. And so anybody who has QuoteWerks can use this. I'll go through the various steps of using it in our live demo. The next solution is the Dell Premier integration, the Premier Portal integration. The QuoteWerks Dell integration enables Dell Premier partners with punch-out credentials to import Dell order requisitions from Dell Premier Portal and place electronic orders directly from QuoteWerks. Users can initiate a new Dell order requisition from within QuoteWerks, choose the items on the Dell website, or select a quote from your Dell sales rep that they might have created for you, and then import those items right into the QuoteWerks quote, no copying, pasting data. You can just press a button, it's going to import all that information, and we can also order electronically through Dell. Now, this does require the real-time module, so if you don't have it, we offer a 30-day trial of it. We can also offer you those creds after the webinar if you're interested. Again, it is for the Dell Premier integration, and you will need to request punch-out credentials in order to enable this feature. So the next solution is our special integration into Ingram Micro and Tech Data. Again, this does require the real-time module, and so if you have entered your Tech Data and Ingram Micro credentials, you'll already see these icons here that might be on your grid toolbar. So if a sales rep from Tech Data or Ingram Micro have created a special quote for you, you can easily find it within QuoteWerks and import those items. Additionally, with Tech Data, we can import their Excel formatted quote right into QuoteWerks. And again, in order to use these features, you will need the XML credentials from your distributors and enter it into QuoteWerks. So let's get to the live demo and show you how to implement all this awesome features. All right, if I can get to the feature, here we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is the Paste Special Wizard. So again, as a reminder, it's going to allow you to import external information from an Excel spreadsheet right into QuoteWerks. I will need to open the actual Excel file here. Okay, so here we have a quote from one of our vendors. And the first thing I want to do is just copy the information, just the meat of the information. And I'll show you why in just a second. While this information seems important, we don't really need to import this data for the actual quote itself. Again, these headers are already inside of QuoteWerks, so all we really need to do is copy this data right from within the quote itself. So we can copy, and we want to enable the Paste Special Wizard. So what we do is go to Edit, Paste Special, and that's going to bring up our Paste Special Wizard. Now, there's a few things that we can do. We don't have any template set up that I want to show you just yet. I want to show you how to do it from scratch first, then how to create a template, and then start from a template after this. So let's start a new session as if it's brand new and go to Next. And we want to copy data from clipboard. Again, I just copied this data right here into here. Now you're going to want to use this 99.99% of the time. The reason I say that is because you're copying the data that you want directly, the meat of the information. Now you can copy data from file, but it is going to have an issue when you want to import the information, and there's going to be different sheets and mapping fields. And so you'll see that copying data from the clipboard is going to be the best solution. Let me just make sure here. All right, so let's get to the next screen. So in this next field, we're going to see Paste Special Wizard Scope. So typically, if you have, hundreds and hundreds of line items, you want to copy from 1 through, whatever specific area that you want. So for here, we just want all the line items, so we're just going to continue forward. And this is really important information here. We're going to want to copy the data, map the fields. Now you can click through these lines here, but we really want to click the header in order to map the fields. So let's look at these fields again, just to see as a reminder here. So I want to start with the quantity. So click the heading. I'm going to click Q and map the heading here. Next, I want to map the next field, which is the vendor part number and then the manufacturer. So let's go to vendor part number and the field for manufacturer part number, manufacturer. And then the next field is going to be the manufacturer part number. This was the description. And then this one here says price each. But price in QuoteWerks terms is really unit cost, or that's what I have my column set to. So I'm going to do unit cost. All right. So the next field is going to be extended cost. Now we don't need to map that field because that's already calculated for you. Unit extended price is just unit cost times quantity for us. So since we have quantity mapped and the unit cost mapped already, we don't need to map this field. Now you can ignore the column. It's all together, and we'll just won't import that information. Or if you're more comfortable, you can actually select an ignore field for this particular one. So the next field is going to be retail price, or also for QuoteWerks, it's going to be list price or MSRP. So let's map that unit list. And then the last column was inventory. We're not going to import that information because it's not really relevant to us. So we are going to ignore that. Okay, so before I click next, there's a couple things I want to mention down here. So this checkbox says pull product details from product data source if available. In simpler terms, this is going to mean that if you have any products that you've already imported previously with this information, it can pull product pictures, data, information that might already be in your product database, like spec sheets, other pertinent information that you have associated with these particular products. Maybe you've already imported this information before, and that will pull that data. The other checkbox is to pull product details from Utilize. So if you have, your vendor information inside of QuoteWerks, or if you have any information that might be able to be pulled from Utilize, you can actually do that, and it's going to update that information from Utilize. And I'll show you that in just a minute. And the last one is apply required items, if any. So in QuoteWerks, we have something called required items. If you have a required item associated with a product, we can also apply that as well. So just wanted to mention these before we move forward. Okay, so let's press next. And this window is going to say append paste or insert paste. For us, it's a blank document, so it doesn't matter what order it goes in. So I'm going to click next. All right, so this is another important piece here. So right now, if I was just doing a one-off quote that I didn't necessarily need to import over and over, I don't have to create a template. But since I have a vendor template from, let's say Tech Data today, I want to make it a template because this particular vendor sends it in the same exact way over and over and over again. So if they send it to me again in the future, I can just import it without having to map the fields. I can just use this template over again. So for today, I'm going to call it Paste Special August 2020 and press Finish. All right, so as you can see, this information is imported with just a click. I didn't have to copy and paste the data, and it was really simple. So I hope you guys can see that this is a really great tool to use should you ever want to, import external data right into QuoteWerks. So let me show you how to use it with Utilize. All right. So if I wanted to pull data from Utilize, I could have checked that box earlier, but I can also click the bottom button here and press Flash, and I can update the information right from QuoteWerks. I can see accessories, similar items, spec sheets, and update the quote with this information. All right, so that's how we use Paste Special Wizard. Let's show you how to use it from some of the other templates that I showed you earlier. So let's do that again. Copy this data. Click New. Oops. All right, so let's go to again, Edit, Paste Special. Now we could do Start One Step Paste Special. This means that you don't need to map the fields again. You're confident that what you've copied is going to be put into from the template really easily. So if I did what I did earlier, Paste Special August 2020, if I just do this, it's going to import right away. So as you can see, really fast importing, which is a really great shortcut. But let's say your vendor did send a similar quote, but there were a couple changes they've made inside of the quote, but you don't want to map every single field again. There is another way to do it. So go to Edit, Paste Special, start session using settings of the template. So you can use that template that we've created earlier, but make some adjustments along the way if you wanted. So copy data from clipboard, sync rows, and you'll see that all the data is already mapped. But if you wanted to switch some items around, let's say that they maybe switch unit cost with, you know, unit list and they've switched up, you can certainly do that. So if you wanted to make those changes, you can do that, press next, and finish. And just like that, the Paste Special Wizard shows you, puts it right into your quote, and it's a really easy way to do all of that. So as you can see, awesome tool. Highly recommend it. Can't recommend it enough. It's a hidden tool I know a lot of people don't realize are inside of QuoteWerks, but has huge benefits. Okay, so next let me show you the Dell Premier Portal integration. So before I start that, I do want to show you where to set that up. And again, you will need to request punch out credentials from your sales rep. Go to Tools Options for setting up. And again, you do need the real-time module. If you don't have the real-time module, you might not see this real-time tab. Go to real-time, go to Dell, and this is where you set it up. You can set your region if you're from a different country. We're based in the US, so we have the USA. We have our credentials, our special URL, and information. So that is all set. All right, so when you have the Dell Premier Portal set up, you have this, can everyone see okay? Okay, so you can see the D, you press the D icon. When you press the D icon, this window will show up. It is important that when you're in the Dell Premier Portal, that you will need to always build the quote in the Dell website from this link. Don't go to a different link. Don't sign in from a different website. Always start here. This is really where the integration is going to be starting from. So, close out of that. We're going to open the Dell Premier website, then build the quote out, create the order requisition, and then import it right into the quote. So I'm going to launch that. And you'll see that when you click that, it's going to launch right into your Dell Premier site. It's your specific one. And you can build your quote as customized as you want. But for the sake of the webinar and just for example, I'm just going to build something really simple. Just going to get a quote. And I'm just going to add, a laptop to my quote. All right, let's get this and add it to cart. Now, if you did have a sales rep that's created a quote for you, you can also import that just as you would what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to create the order requisition. So let me show you how to do that. My cart is added. I'm going to create the order requisition. And I have to fill out my info. Now, QuoteWerks. All right. All right. In the billing information, I'm going to select this, add the same billing information, and move forward. I'm going to continue securely. All right, so now I'm going to submit order requisition. Once I've pressed submit order requisition here, this is what's going to trigger the integration, and then I can import the data right into my quote workbook. So I'm going to click that, and you'll have a screen here that says Dell order requisition created with your QuoteWerks logo, so you know that it's complete. It says please switch back to QuoteWerks and click on import items. So now I'm going to go back to my quote, and now this isn't grayed out anymore. I'm going to press import, and voila, all this information is here. So really simple. Now you might be asking, Jesse, where's all the description information? Typically that is mapped into custom memo 01. So you'll want to pull this information from custom memo 01. So here is custom memo 01. I just double click that, you can see all of that information. And so if you've ever been using this integration and you've been wondering where the description is, it's in custom memo 01 most likely. And you'll want to make sure that custom memo 01 macro is inside of your layout so that if you did want to include that as a part of your quote, that the custom memo 01 is in your actual document output. All right, so that is how the Dell quote importer works. Really simple, as you can see. Once you get the Dell punch-out credentials, makes it really easy for you. So next, let's talk about the Ingram Micro quote importer. And again, if you guys have any questions, definitely ask in the questions box. I will address it at the end of the webinar. Okay, so the Ingram Micro quote importer, you can see here I have Ingram Micro and Tech Data. You'll want to make sure you have your XML credentials from your distributors. If you're wondering how to set that up, again, it's in Tools, Options, Real-Time Module, Real-Time Setup, and you'll have Ingram Micro and Tech Data Set. So that is where you set that up. Okay, simple, simple. So Ingram Micro Quote Importer, there's really just one simple way of doing it. This pop-up just says that I'm in sandbox mode. So you can request quotes from Ingram Micro here, or you can also copy information or get your quotes from an exact quote number. So if I look this up, I'll be able to see the Ingram Micro quote, all the import information, and press import. And so just like that, you get to import your Ingram Micro quote. If you wanted to update the information from Utilize, you can just refresh item with Utilize details. You'll see that this information is going to change in just a minute. And just like that, it's updated. So really simple there. The other thing that you can do is request quotes from Ingram Micro. What it's going to show you is the quotes that were created for you in the last 45 days. So you'll see here all the different quotes. Oh, let me import all this. Oops, got to open the quote first. All right, you can see all the Ingram Micro quote information. Just as you would get, press import, and there you go. Simple as that. So you can see here, if I wanted to update the information with Utilize, I could press the refresh, or I can also check Utilize here. I can see product pictures, compare prices if I wanted to, add this to the quote, and similar items, spec sheets, item detail information, I can change it, update it, and so on. So really nice tool that if you do get any quotes from Ingram Micro or some of the other distributors, or it's a great way to update that information. So that pretty much is the Ingram Micro integration. Let's show you how to use Tech Data. And I do want to note, if you are pulling data from Utilize, there's two really important information you need if you're wanting to update the data from your distributors. You either need the combo of the vendor part number and vendor itself, or the manufacturer and manufacturer part number. So you always need those two if you're going to be updating from an imported quote from one of your external vendors. Okay, so Tech Data Quote Importer. So let's import a special, Tech Data SAP quote that was sent over to me by a sales rep. So what we do is retrieve Tech Data SAP quote. And, oh, sorry, I was just doing the SAP quote. So same here, you're going to have the Tech Data quote for the last 45 days show up. What you do is simply, it's going to pop up. You'll be able to see the quote, similar to the Ingram Micro quote. Just press import, and there you have it. So really simple. Again, you can refresh the information from Utilize if you wanted to, and so on. The other option is to import the Excel spreadsheet that they might have sent to you. So let me just do a new quote. Import Excel file. And just like that, you import it. So really easy way to update that information. So if you wanted to update that from Utilize, you can certainly do that. Compare the prices and see the item detail. So as you can see, really an easy way to get information from tech data right into QuoteWorks. There's a lot of amazing tools out there that can certainly be used with the Paste Special Wizard, Tech Data Quote Import, Ingram Micro Quote Import, and the Dell Premier integration. But before I leave you today and answer your questions, I do want to let you know about some of our resources available to you. We have obviously great support in sales. If you call us between 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we're more than happy to help you. We'll pick up the phone, go through any questions with you. We offer free trials if you do have a real-time module or are interested in the real-time module and utilize. We can offer a 30-day trial to you if you want. We have over 200 training videos. We do record all of our webinars as well. And we have a special pain point webinar page should you want to watch these again later. Help documentation, any training services, if you want customization services, we offer that too. So definitely let me know if you do have any questions. And so I just want to say thank you everyone for attending today. And I will stop the recording really quick and get with you guys in just a moment with your questions.